Okay, so we're talking with Eugene in Kyiv. How's it going there in Ukraine today?
Today is pretty much fine. What can't I say about like yesterday, for example? Because yesterday, I'm not sure because you know I'm ignoring all like alerts about shelling and everything. But I guess that yesterday I've heard like a big bang somewhere in distance from me. But today it looks like everything is pretty chill. Yeah.
Okay, and I'm assuming that there was a lot of news in Ukraine about Zelensky's meeting in the White House yesterday.
Yeah, yeah, a lot. I would say that even you know memes about that, jokes which people making about that is even like there are even more jokes than news probably.
Is that right? Like, what kind of jokes are people making?
All kinds of joke, like mostly you know laughing at Trump. Or even some self-ironic memes which I've sent you in Signal like a few weeks ago probably
Hmm.
that we are all joking about Zelensky. We like don't really like him as we used to, but when someone else is saying something bad about Zelensky, we're like getting hyped and starting to defend Zelensky because you know. Uh, oh, by the way, I've seen a news like post in Euronews. I don't know if you know about Euronews. Euronews is like the biggest news outlet in the Europe in Europe. So and there is like a post with a like report that Ukrainians are feeling offended after the recent meeting with Trump. And I guess it's true because when Trump says everything that he said yesterday, it feels like he's saying it like directly to me or my neighbors or someone else in Ukraine, not to Zelensky. Like it feels like a personal offense from Trump. Yeah, something like that.
So, and that's the general public reaction. What was the official reaction? Like, has Zelensky or any of the anybody in his administration, have they commented on it since then?
No, you know, it would be hard to comment on this because everyone understands that they cannot like say, "Oh, we hate Trump now," because
Right.
they have to like show their like diplomacy, their hope, and everything. So they do not think that Trump is lost for Ukraine, and that's why they do not react.
I see.
Uh, yeah.
What has been the reaction? You know, Trump was trying to make a minerals deal with Zelensky. Has that been
Mm.
widely known and widely discussed there?
I wouldn't say that it was widely discussed, but uh, but it is well known, like initiative from Trump, so everyone knows about this suggested contract. Like the main idea which I'm getting from news, from public reaction and everything is that Trump like basically essentially trying to buy Ukraine, yeah, or something, because I've checked this um, how it's called, like agreement, yeah, and like it looks like colonization or something
Yeah,
because Trump is saying, "Oh, okay, you can become our colony now. We will get all your minerals or your like liquid resources and everything." And for that, and this is the main problem. What's for that? Like, uh, he's trying to say that this agreement is a step on the way to peace, or at least to the ceasefire. But I am like personally, maybe I don't know something. Yeah, I'm no expert, but I do not see the link between that. Like, in which way this agreement can potentially lead to a ceasefire. I
Right,
do not understand this because this agreement have no like defense guarantees, yeah, or something like that. It's literally just about resources. It's just about the US is getting your resources, and this is it. And I do not understand in which way it can lead to a ceasefire. Maybe, and the main problem, Trump does not explain it as well. He says something like something general and common, like you will get some like cards. He says, I don't know why, but he's choose to like compare all this stuff, all the war with cards. And he's saying that this agreement will give you cards.
right.
But what does he mean? Like which cards? What is what it is even supposed to mean? I do not understand, and I believe that no one understands, including Trump. Probably he has some idea in his head in which way it can lead to ceasefire, but he cannot explain it or doesn't want to or something like that. Yeah.
I think it's a couple of things. Number one, as I understand it, Zelensky said that he would not sign it if it did not have some security guarantees, which is
Oh.
something along the lines of what you're saying. And
It's Mhm, mhm. Continue.
yeah, um, there's a couple of other things. One is, we have a saying, the devil is in the details. And it
Mhm.
says specifically in that draft agreement that a lot of the details will have to be worked out later. But how are they going to be worked out? And who is going to decide in case there's a conflict? Who's going to make the decision? From what I can understand, the only recourse that Zelensky would have would be to go to the US courts, which would mean it would end up in the Supreme Court, which is controlled by Trump. So one question then that I have is, if Zelensky were to sign an agreement like that, would that be something that would be very unpopular in Ukraine?
Oh, it's actually hard to say. It depends on like what will be the consequences of this agreement.
Right,
Like if he signs this agreement and like in 1 week or the second day uh, we see the ceasefire, everyone will be okay with that. So it depends on like the outcome,
right,
uh, because this agreement is more like about some economical stuff. And
right,
people, I don't know about the US, but people here in Ukraine are usually not very much into all these economical details or these agreements and everything. They like know in general what does it mean. They have probably have some opinion on it. Probably this opinion had been like shaped by our influencers or something like that, but in details they does not understand what does it mean.
right,
So if it leads to a good outcome, everyone will be fine with that. If it's not, it depends on like our medias, because we have like free media in Ukraine, even though it's like it's a problem now
right.
because freedom of media is questioned now.
Yeah.
Actually,
I want to
yeah.
I want to just break in to welcome Denys. And as you, hi Denys, I'm
Hello.
glad you were able to make it. And as you gathered, we were just talking about this um, draft proposal for mineral wealth. If you have any thoughts, and also if you have any thoughts on what happened yesterday with the confrontation between Zelensky and Vance and Trump.
While as for so-called deal on minerals, I find it a despicable manifestation of economic colonization. This is something that is enforced on Ukraine. US is acting as a sort of middleman. Yes, that you not just capitulate to the Kremlin, but you also the rest of your territory will be ours now, indefinitely. Yeah, forever. So because we have very vague only outlines of what could be that draft, but ultimately it will, in any case, set a precedent that now US can come and loot and loot and loot. This is something that the tankies, campist left has been like telling for ages. This is a proxy war because the US just wants to get the resources. But now it's really about the US going after Ukrainian resources. So I consider it like a terrible outcome, and I guess that the signing of this deal was thwarted yesterday. So um, at least for some time. And ultimately, what we experienced with Trump and Vance trying to humiliate not just Zelensky, but Ukraine as a subject, and not just Ukraine, but all smaller countries, because it was all about like, we are the great Americans, and you need to to bow to your white masters, and you need to like be a yes man, and you need to thank us every time, even if we just humiliate you and sell out because we in exchange, they actually suggested no guarantees for Ukraine. This was the point of Zelensky tried to get in. That what are the guarantees? What Ukraine gets in exchange for essentially giving up its constitutionally provided, because the constitution of Ukraine states that what's beneath Ukrainian surface is a common public ownership of Ukrainian people. Yes, so this would directly violate the constitution. And in exchange, they don't even bother to make some formal, yes, promises that yeah, you have some guarantees. The only guarantee is that well, Putin very respects Trump, so there will be no continuation of aggression, no further invasion. So yeah, it was just to show that yeah, you need to um, always uh, behave in such a manner, like pander to this great power. And well, um, even I did found that the general line of Zelensky, it was similar to what the Europeans have been doing since Trump was elected. So they tried to adapt, tried to somehow play into his ego, to reiterate how great and strong he is, in order to at least to have the place to for you to be listened to. Yes, at the White House. But what we have seen, like on all these times, that the masters of Trump administration, all these uh, uber capitalist goblins, Musk, Vance, Thiel. So they just want to. The only people they are going to greet are either war criminals wanted by the International Criminal Court, like Netanyahu and Putin, or those who do the mask salute, far right leaders of different parties. Yes, and all others, yes, they are just invited to be humiliated. Yeah, so they tried to play this sort of scenario to have like signing of this deal in front of cameras. After, yeah, they taunted how ungrateful you are. So yeah, again, Ukrainian leadership has been constantly making all these overtures and how grateful we are for the U.S. and for the current U.S. president and for everything. Yeah, and ultimately, yes, they went. Um, it seems, yes, this was a major scenario, but maybe the other scenario was, yes, if everything goes wrong, then to blame everything on Zelensky, because ultimately Trump has no peace plan. Yes, he has no. These guys have no plans for anything. Ultimately, this is a guy who thinks that um, uh, he should be rewarded a Nobel Peace Prize for ethnic cleansing of Palestinians in Gaza. Yeah, so it was just some suggestion that, yeah, you sign this deal, you sell out Ukraine, and then without again some clear points, you go to subdue to the demands by Moscow, and I think there were signs that Russia isn't going to, you know, not just to preserve what it has already occupied, yes, but they would like for Ukraine to also withdraw from Ukrainian forces held territories and to completely, for instance, yeah, to conquer Zaporizhia that has never been under Russian occupation. Yes, because Putin did these changes to constitution where it's proclaimed as Russian land now. Yeah, so and they Lavrov and others in the Russian leadership, they have been um, talking that this is, you need to counter the new geopolitical reality and you need to respect the new Russian constitution. Yeah, so it means that Ukraine has to give up even more, not just of the land, but of the people. Yeah, so these either people under occupation or people who fled the occupation and who will never return home. Great success, great scenario. So this is something quite opposite to peace and quite opposite to negotiations. Yes. So
It
and
seems,
sort of, yes, a deadlock.
for a while I could not understand why Trump would offer this mineral wealth deal and then sabotage it. So, but I think that was the intent, was to sabotage it all along, and then blame Zelensky for making a deal for Trump making a deal with Putin and completely cutting Ukraine out. And if he didn't manage to sabotage it, he still has the best of both worlds.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing in that deal. We were talking about this before you join in here, Denys. You know, there's all kinds of conflicts that could arise within the confines of that deal, and who would decide on those conflicts? I believe would be this U.S. Supreme Court, which is Trump, in other words.
Mm-hmm.
So even if he signed the deal, and there's nothing in the deal that would guarantee security for Ukraine. So,
John,
uh, so I wanted to ask. I think Trump will reach a quote peace deal with Putin now, which will give Putin at least control over what he already has stolen.
uh, John, may I like say something about like this their meeting in general? Like I'm watching it right now, and I clearly see that Trump says that they gave to Ukraine $350 billion. But at the same time, we can see, like on the mentioned Euronews, fact-checking like publication, where they with a link to Ukraine oversight. It's some kind of governmental the US organization. I'm not sure if you know about that. but it has like .gov at the end, so it's official American government site. And according to their information, Ukraine only got like 80 something billion of help from 180. So 180, it's everything that's supposed to go to Ukraine. 80 billion is something that already went to Ukraine. But Trump talking about 350 billion. Where he got this number, it's unclear. It's
The only man
first,
in
like,
the world that can challenge Putin for being as big a liar is Trump. And
yeah,
I
probably.
mean, you know, that's so yeah, that's to be expected. But
He just
Yeah.
invents the digits. Yeah. So though there was a joke that this is the
Also,
sum of Tesla, I think losses. So this is just a personal like gift for Musk, yes, to compensate the losses.
so, but my question is to get back to a ceasefire agreement. If Zelensky were to agree to that, to an agreement that gives Russia control over what it already has and that recognizes that, what would be the reaction inside Ukraine if Zelensky accepted something like that?
Well, it still involves a number of variables. Yes. So first of all, what are the frame of this deal? So if it's just like a temporary ceasefire without recognizing that Russia grabs the territories, and if Russia isn't going further, this is a scenario I don't think it's realistic because Russia wants more. Yeah.
Well, yes.
So this water down, yes, just we freeze at the front line, yes, it would cause less discontent, yes, but if the situation is yes that essentially both Moscow and Washington say to Kyiv that you need to give up even more, yes, this will create you understand a complete backlash on this side. Even with the old, of course, people are very tired of war. Of course, people don't see a good way out of this situation. Yes, but if we are forced something that is even much worse than what was, I don't know, like prior to the Trump election, and this is presented as some sort of like road to peace. Yes, it will. I don't think it will work out anyway.
also, John, is it okay if I'll make like some note on the rhetorics which Trump and his friend made on the last meeting with Zelensky?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, so you know this old classic Disney cartoon Lion King. You probably remember that there was like this evil lion named like Scar because he had a scar on his face. And he was really big, really strong, really tough lion. And around him always were some hyenas which were like jumping around him and saying how great he is. And in this like meeting, what I see is the same. Like we have this lion with the name Trump and this hyena with the name, I forgot his name.
Vance.
Vance.
Yeah,
Vance.
Vance. Because all this, you should be thankful. You should be thankful. You haven't said thank you like even once at this meeting. It looks like so strange for me. First of all, because why he's saying that. Second of all, who Zelensky should say thank you to Trump or something? Because for me it looks like they feel Vance and Trump and probably some else. It looks for me that they think that all this money are theirs. It's not theirs money. It's the U.S. money from the budget, yeah, from somewhere. But they like trying to make an image like they are giving Zelensky their own personal money. And the third thing I want to say, like, it wouldn't be it would be close to truth if I would say that Zelensky, like in general, mainly doing two things. First, he's asking for help, and second, he's saying thank you for help. Because like I couldn't, like it's impossible to count how many times he said thank you for everyone, for Germany, for France, for the European Union, like in general, to the US, to Obama personally, to the US in general, to Trump personally, and everything. It's probably will be hard to find like proofs now, because if you trying to Google Zelensky thank you, you will like mainly find this video. But believe me, like there is a lot of publications with Zelensky saying thank you, and not only Zelensky, but the whole Ukrainian government, and to the US especially.
The
And
US
for me,
has carried many times Zelensky saying that sort of thing. Yes.
Yeah, and one of the major publications did an estimate of including only the English language addresses by Zelensky, official addresses to other countries, that it was at least 33 times he thanked, at 33 occasions he was thanking the US. So it's
yeah, 33 times, but surely this
at least
34th time. Surely this 34th time is the most important, because it will be said in front of Mr. Trump and Mr. Vance. And like the funniest thing is that after that, I believe it was Vance who asked about the suit, why Zelensky doesn't wear suit. It was like as we say, cherry on a cake. Yeah, it was like the most ridiculous thing anyone could possibly say to a person in the position of Zelensky. Okay, thank you for giving me opportunity to discuss the rhetorics of this meeting. Yeah, you can continue, please, with your questions.
I think that, as I said, Vance was intentionally sabotaging the meeting with all of that. And you know, he's on record in my video. I show it where Vance is on record saying, "I don't care what happens in Ukraine one way or the other." Now, actually, even that is not true. He does care what happens in Ukraine. He wants Russia to win. Because, and also, I have it in that video that I sent you, where the right-wing racist groups like America First, they support Putin. And there's a meeting of theirs where they're chanting Putin, Putin, Putin. So, and Trump supports Putin, but he can't come right out and openly, directly say we want Russia to win. The other thing about, you know, this whole thing about Zelensky not wearing a suit, you know, a number of people have already commented on. I don't know if you in Ukraine have seen when Elon Musk appeared in the Oval Office with Trump, and he was he was looking like Darth Vader. So that was perfectly okay. So, I mean,
that's the sort of suit they want to wear. Yes.
Oh, yes, but my point is they are looking for an excuse to favor Putin, because that's who there's a political alignment between the fascist connected Putin and the fascist connected Trump and Vance.
And like just a friendly reminder that Trump обещал, promised that he will end the war in 24 hours. Just a like little reminder.
Yeah, but it's just another lie he is telling on a daily basis, you know, like 150 lies per day. So just 24 hours. Then 24 hours after I'm inaugurated as a president, then maybe a couple of days, then a couple of weeks, then half a year. Yeah, so it's and also regarding all this finding excuses and the role of Vance, we should also take into account that Vance and Musk, I think they have well, Trump outsourced for them his role as this political ambassador, ideological ambassador for the global far right and authoritarian forces. Yes, so Vance was the person who like declared war on European democracies in Munich. Musk is like personally supporting all the far right neo-fascist forces throughout Europe, and this is their goal, their common goal, and of course Putin has a like both Putin and Trump, they are important connecting figures, yes, because they are both worshipped by the reactionaries throughout the world, and both of them have ties with the reactionaries, all these fascist far right parties. Yeah, so now they try to do this black sort of or brown international, yes, as the Nazi international. It's a bit paradoxical, yes, but
One more thing I want to bring up. Sorry for like coming back to the meeting itself. When Trump said that Obama gave to Ukraine just shits, I guess it's supposed to mean like some papers, like we've promise or we support and everything. And Trump says that he gave javelins, but he haven't gave them. He sold them, and it's like a not conspiracy theory. It's a well-known fact that Ukraine, in fact, bought javelins, not like take them, not took them as a gift. Yeah, it wasn't gift. And and again, it wasn't Trump who gave javelins. Javelins are not owned by Trump, and it's probably like it's probably more like yours, John, javelins and yours money than Trump's. But Trump like continued to say that he gave money, he gave javelins, and none of it was gifts. It all was either sold or loaned. A part of this military help, which has been signed by Biden, because part of support is loans, part of support is grants. Again, yeah, and again about grants, Trump, with all this agreement about mineral resources. Trump saying that he's like trying to get money back to US. Like US gave money to Ukraine, and Ukraine now can give this money back. But it wasn't loan. This particular money was a grant. So he's trying to imply that something that had been sold is being gifted, and something that had been gifted been sold. So he's just how to say change the words.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I hope you understood what I meant. Yeah, please continue.
And also actually almost half of this military aid, US military aid, was not for Ukraine directly, but for the US military industrial complex, yes, for its renovation and for selling the old stuff to Ukraine. Yes, so it's another blatant, like manipulation, how he says, we gave it to those like ungrateful Ukrainians. No, you gave it first of all to your own producers. And then there is no contradiction in that Trump will use all these funds and all this as his personal, yes, because he's a monarchist completely, monarchist understanding, yes, that he's a king, he's an emperor, Everything is his property and his body's. Yes, and what they are trying to do now by dismantling the public services, yes, social security, Medicare, education, yes, they just are privatizing the state, yes, so it will be really owned by Trump, Musk, Bezos, and all other oligarchs. Yes, so this is really about how they perceive the world, and they want to shape it to be precisely due to their all this bullshit, like
So,
Curtis Yarvin idea.
so that was going to be my next question: is to what extent are most Ukrainians aware of what I call it the well, you could call it the co-presidency, Trump and Musk. To what extent are they aware in Ukraine of what Trump and Musk are doing here in the United States?
Well, I guess they are aware of the enormous role that Musk plays, because he was present even on the first call of Zelensky to Trump after Trump was elected and still not inaugurated. Yeah, they had Elon Musk, of course, as their call, and Elon Musk has did a lot of derogatory comments against Ukraine. Yes, so here we saw this downfall of some of the idols that were created by Ukrainian media and Ukrainian mainstream. That is, of course, also very reactionary, and they also like Western media for a long time like to play this vision of Trump, or not Trump, but Musk as this visionary genius entrepreneur who is bringing us to the future, to Mars, and to everything. Yes, and for a long time there was a widespread cult worship, not on entirety of Ukraine society, but there were a lot of people who were like hardcore fans of all this. And then while Musk also like revealed himself, his true colors to the world by owning Twitter. For Ukrainians, also there were lots of moments of like astonishment how Musk was not just repeating some Putinist talking points, but actually doubling down on them. Yes. So for the majority of people here, yes, now I think it's my estimation, yes, he is seen as this enemy, some sort of like another Putin's body. So all this like revering him for giving the Starlink, but at the same time also curbing the how Starlink can be used, including when it was like shut down, not to um, uh, affect the Russian forces
What
in
I'm
the
asking
occupied
about,
parts of Ukraine. Yeah.
I'm asking about is what
Mm-hmm.
and Musk are doing. For instance,
Currently.
here within the United States, for instance, giving Musk just and his own private company complete access to all the personal information of people in the United States, or Trump setting himself up so that he can't be challenged by any other wing of the U.S. government, and then some of the people that he's appointed to office who have outright Nazi connections here in the United States, people in his cabinet and so on, Nazi, or I don't use this term lightly, but outright fascist connections, and what threat that poses, obviously, for people in Ukraine, but here in the United States. And also, I mean, he's going to privatize Social Security, all these sorts of things. Are people aware in Ukraine of the dangers that we are facing here in the United States from Trump and Musk?
I guess they are, but not enough. Yeah, so it's still underreported. So if you check some comments under like news on Musk, usually people are very you know critical of what this unelected co-president of the US is doing there. Yeah, but at the same time, I think they are still they are very exhausted by our own news from the war. Yeah, so they don't pay so much attention. Yes, but I guess it will have also consequences for the entirety of the world, because if they succeed with this plan, yes, with this capitalism on steroids, when you essentially make everything the property of the wealthiest oligarchs, and when you privatize and dismantle all public sectors, yeah, this will be replicated everywhere, and this will be also like a carte blanche for the Ukrainian followers of this sort of ultra neoliberal ideology. Yeah, but still, I feel that we need to report more on this, because when people just get some small, like features of what's being done, when they just see how Elon Musk with a smirk on his face, he's saying, we had some mistake. We temporarily stopped the aid for Ebola research when it was like another outbreak. Haha, so funny, but we restored it. Just a small mistake. Yeah, so people see this as a psychopath. Yes, this is a someone who owns a country, who owns enormous wealth, and who has no respect for other human lives. Yeah, so if they got more, and they could see not just this is some personal problem. Yes, this is the result, the product of the ruling class in the West. This is what capitalism means. Yes, that you ultimately your lives are on the stake by such terrible human beings who make the system actually even more harmful for everyone. Yeah.
Eugene, do you have any comments or any thoughts on that?
I would say that when Denys talking about Ukrainians being aware of the danger which Trump and Musk like represent for the United States, he's mostly talking probably about like people who are in general interested in the US politics, because as I would imagine, like most of people in Ukraine who are just like common workers and so on, they I'm sorry, but they don't give a fuck what how bad it will be for the US, because like there are some more how to say some closer problems. They mostly think about like how bad it will be for Ukraine, how bad it will be probably for Europe, and somewhere far away from them is how bad it will be for the US. But if we talk about some probably experts, because Denys is expert on politics, as I remember, Denys is expert on particularly American politics, mostly, as I remember,
Not
South
so
America,
much. Latin American. Yeah,
Latin America, but
not
but
US
yeah,
American.
okay, US is like a bit close to Latin America, and probably if you're an expert on politics in Latin America, you probably know something also about the US and North America in general. But like other people, I don't think that it's like a big topic for them. But I support what Denys said about Elon Musk, because here in Ukraine, as well as all around the world, we have this worshipping billionaires that, oh, Elon Musk, he's so innovative, he's like making these good cars and everything. people are starting to think otherwise. Like, okay, he's a billionaire. He made like good cars and everything, but probably not everything is as good with him. Because like just a year or two ago, we had this scandal around Starlinks. Because Denys, you can correct me. Because Elon. I don't remember exactly, or
I mentioned it briefly when they shut down the Starlink, yes, for the Crimea
yeah,
direction, yes,
yeah,
not
and
to harm
also
Russian
a
forces,
lot of that, and
Russian
also
Navy.
You know,
yeah, and also a thing which a lot of people forget that people who are using Starlinks, they're paying for that. They probably got the the machine itself for free, probably. I'm not sure, but they're paying this like subscription or something, yeah, because Starlink isn't free. And yes, sometimes we have this problem that Musk is like trying to interrupt Starlink in some way. And also the problem, and I don't know if Elon trying to do something with that, but the problem is, it's a well-known fact that Russian soldiers are using Starlinks as well, and they're using some like other ways to pay for that. They're not paying for from their like Russian cards probably, but I don't know if Elon trying to do something with that. If Elon trying to shut Russian Starlinks down. But he definitely trying to shut Ukrainian Starlinks down. Yeah, thank you.
I want to make a couple comments about Elon Musk. First of all, he played no part whatsoever in any inventions that his company, any of his companies has. He bought, in many cases, he bought into a company that already owned those inventions. So it's just and many times he just took advantage of patents that were owned and paid for by us, the U.S. taxpayers.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
he is not an innovator in any way at all. As far as Tesla, it would have gone bankrupt had it not been for government aid, both the United States, both the federal and California state aid.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Now, as far as
And
Starlink,
also the tariffs that even Biden did for the Chinese electro cars.
so
Yes, so
as far as Starlink and what you were saying about it's known that in some way or another he was making Starlink available to Russia. So I want to get a confirmation on this, but I was told that USAID,
mhm.
that I was told that USAID, that Musk shut down USAID, right? I was told that at the time that he shut them down, USAID was investigating Starlink about exactly that. So this is the sort of thing, where it's like the total full privatization of the government for the benefit of one capitalist or another, one individual capitalist or another. And I guess, my final point is we see how the US and the Ukrainian working class are our fates are tied together. And we need to, and unfortunately, the left here in the United States is in total political shambles, where the great majority of socialists here either support Putin or say, well, we don't care, it doesn't matter. So we see how we need to find ways to start to link up the working class and in the first place, socialists, genuine socialists here and in Ukraine, and through that also start to build some direct links between workers in the two countries.
Absolutely. Yeah, because also as you mentioned that like conflicts of interest. Yes, Musk, whose companies are one of the major, like companies paid by the not paid but actually sponsored by the U.S. Public funding by the U.S. government, the U.S. budget is now overseeing the budgets. Yes, and he is attacking not just USAID that was, as you mentioned, also investigating, but all other, yes, undermining all other agencies, bureaus like this, how it's called, Consumer Protection Bureau, yeah, and also on labor regulations, yes, that were also investigating all the misdoings, missteps of his companies. Yes, so complete.
Right. So on that note, maybe we should wind up for now. If either of you have any like final comments. If not, I want to
Yeah,
thank.
you know, yeah, I can make like a small comment. You probably remember that I told you about my friend who is in military right now, who was hoping that Trump will end the war. Yeah, and I lost like a connection with this friend for a while, but yesterday he finally like got in contact with me and we talked a bit and now he's he's not saying that Trump will give some like some push to ceasefire, yeah, or something like that, because this guy is in military himself. He see everything which is happening. Of course, he is hating Zelensky as well, but now he's also hating Trump because he sees that everything he was hoping to, everything that Trump was saying, uh, it's either lie or doesn't work. So yeah, it would be my final comment.
Thank you, Eugene.
Yes, there were quite high expectations, maybe just delusions, yes, on many people in Ukraine that were thinking, oh, maybe now Trump, he's unpredictable, he is, like this sort of tough guy that he will somehow pull out a favorable outcome for Ukraine and at least like ending the hostilities, but not on a, of course, grounds that would like completely dismantle Ukrainian um, statehood and prospects. Yes, and yeah, then I guess even the last people of this category now they see that it was all a lie on his side. Yeah, and we are now in a deep trouble, but not just in Ukraine, throughout the world, because our enemies are uniting. Yeah, so all you see this axis, you see all the reactionary fascist oligarchs coming together, and at the same time, those people who should stand up, yeah, against them, we are very disorganized, dispersed. Yes, so there is no real organized resistance to what Trump and Muskian oligarchy are doing now in the US, both internal and on the international stage. So maybe this should be some last call for everyone inside the US, abroad. You just and for those parts on the left who have all these hesitant positions, well, if you continue do all this way of thinking, yes, you are on the side of Trump, Vance, and Musk. Yes, because now you cannot claim that Ukraine is waging a proxy war on whose behalf? I don't know, maybe Denmark or Sweden or Latvia or whatever. Yeah, so now you see that the major imperialist powers are on the same side. Yes, and when they voted in the General Assembly, there was some sort of coalition of I don't know dream. Yes, so when you had Russia, US, Israel, all these authoritarian regimes, military juntas in Africa, North Korea, and everyone is voting against the resolution drafted mainly by Ukrainians and Europeans. Yes, so this just means not just for the people in Europe, yes, to think about what the US means for them when it sells out Ukraine and Europe to Russia, but also for the people, say, in Latin America. Trump is already terrible for people coming from Latin America and for Latin American states, and he will become even worse. And for the other neighbors, of course, Canada and Denmark via Greenland. So yeah, so ultimately our fates are very interconnected, and we need to stir up also the popular resistance to these policies inside the US. Yeah, because up to this point they think that they are, you know, like completely unchecked. Yes, that they can do whatever they want. No one says something like really dangerous for them. So somehow we need to find ways to make them feel some consequences there, that people can get up and
Thank you.
protest.
Thank you very much for your time, Eugene and Denys. And we see how our fates are tied together.